But yeah, so here we are today. We're welcoming Michelle Bugnet to our little Ogden Marathon fireside chat. And this came about really out of what this great community event is. So the Ogden Marathon is a community event. We had our 23rd year of the event this year. It's put on by the Goal Foundation, which is a nonprofit, stands for Get Out and Live. And I'm Alex Docta. I'm the operations manager and currently the race director for the Ogden Marathon, have been for the last 2 years. And something that was pretty powerful to me that I found out right away was that this event is really put on by volunteers, both lead volunteers like you are and a sea of just 3 to 6 hour shift volunteers on the event day of and leading up to it. And one thing I wanted to do was kind of find a way to highlight and share the stories of lead volunteers like yourself, and selfishly also learn a bit more about these folks that on the whole have been involved longer with the race than many of the staff members that are here at the Goal Foundation. So that led me to bringing you in today. And why don't we start with your name and current position with the Ogden Marathon?
All right. So like Alex said, Michelle Bugnet. I'm the lead over the volunteers at the finish line. So like we do the medals, we unwrap them, set them out, and then when the finishers start to come across, then we're the ones standing there handing them out, making
Pretty
sure everyone
cool
gets one.
Position.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been awesome.
That is awesome. How long, let's just jump into your tenure with the Ogden Marathon and then maybe a couple different jobs, if you had a couple different jobs, because I actually don't know what you were doing before medals.
No, I'm kind of a one. So I started in 2009 was the first year. 2009 and 2010, I was volunteer. My husband and I just did the volunteer thing, but it was finish line. So I got into it, and then the third year, 2011, they asked, hey, do you want to lead this down here? You've been here, this is your third time, do you want to be in charge of it? And I was like, heck yeah. Like, it was amazing. So I've been doing it ever since.
That's awesome. Yeah. One thing that you could, I know that this happens, but I don't know a ton about it because I'm super busy, but you get like some fairly unique groups of volunteers and stuff that help you out year over year as well, right?
Yeah. So the first couple of years it was military.
Okay.
We'd get military guys that would come out and they were in their fatigues, I guess, the camo stuff. That was probably the first 3 or 4 years. And then for a big chunk of time, it's been foreign exchange students. So, that's been really fun because I taught high school, and it's just really fun getting to know the kids, where they're from. They're very eager to like follow the directions, so it's really easy to tell them what I expect them to be in charge of, and they follow it to a T, and it gets done. So it's been
it's awesome.
Really fun to do that.
Yeah. And these are, your volunteers, they're literally the people that are kind of putting the medals around those finishers' necks, right? Yeah. That's awesome. What would you say over the years have been like some of the, a couple cool memories that you might have?
Well, I think, so every once in a while we have a gong at the finish line. I don't know who supplies it, but we haven't had it. I know it's a big deal. I think we need to find one or get our own or something. But so the idea is when you PR, or if it's the first time that you've done a half or a full marathon, they come over and they hit that gong. And just seeing faces as they come across the line after they get their medal, you can tell, they put in so many hours training for this. It's been a big deal. They've overcome something, whether it's like a weight loss journey or a, other personal journey that they've conquered leading up to the race. I had a friend that had lost a baby, and that was her kind of memory that she made. And so I like to look for the faces as they're coming across, and I can pick out who needs a hug. Yeah. Whether it's they're just so emotional, whether they're so happy, whether, whatever, and just being there, whether I know them or not. But it does help, seeing faces over and over again. And definitely, they're like, I was hoping I'd see you. And I'm like, I'm right here.
That's awesome. Yeah. And the marathon is it is such a race that, you know, we get these repeat community runners for sure, but we also get repeat runners coming in from out of state and stuff. And so you're right. You probably are in a unique position, especially at the medals area, where everybody has to come through to really learn these runners and get to interact with them. So that's
probably
cool.
Another thing that I really have loved is other thing that I'm in charge of, which is really I take upon myself, is the relay teams. Because I get to meet the whole team all at once, because we want them all to come and get the medal together.
Yeah.
And so I get to see whether it's families, whether it's coworkers, whether it's neighbors or a cousin of a cousin, you know, whatever, just seeing that bond and getting that picture with them. And
yeah,
that's been really fun.
That's really cool. That's super awesome. It's cool to get these little insights as I kind of run around from multiple station to station like a chicken with my head cut off. I don't get the kind of intimate time in one spot like you do, and it's really cool that you get to be there. Yeah. So one of the things that I think is interesting is you know, this whole volunteerism, you being here since 2009, and it's a pretty intense role. Like there's a lot going on that you're coordinating to make sure that things go well. And a little that I've learned about you is that you're a pretty community minded person, you know, outside of the Ogden Marathon as well. So what do you do for a day job, for your hobbies? Like what do you get up to in the community?
So my biggest thing outside, I do like to run. I've started getting into running mostly because of being around it so much. But my biggest thing, my passion is softball. So I coach, I do recreation for Ogden City. I've coached with their untamed comp softball teams, coach at Mount Ogden Junior High, and I'm a teacher by trade. This year I just started working in a dentist office. Just thought I'd try something completely different.
Yeah.
And it's been so fun. But yeah, education, being around people, I just need to be around people.
Yeah. Well, if there's one thing people need at a dentist office, it's, you know, well thought out people who communicate well with others and, you know, can have empathy for others too. So it sounds like you nailed it. You know, you should probably ask your employer for a little more money in that regard, because they've got a catch, I'm sure. And then we had a community event at Lauren Farr Swimming Pool, and I saw you there as well.
Yep.
So
I worked for Ogden City for 2 years. So
nice.
Yeah, I got to be at both events as a goal volunteer and as well as for working for us.
Well, you're everywhere, and I think that's one of the reasons why in this first batch of Ogden Marathon volunteer interviews that I kind of reached out to you to see if you wanted to be involved, because I think you really do kind of epitomize that volunteer and community-minded spirit that our community has, which I think is every community has that to some extent, but there's something special and unique here, and we're so happy to have you continue to be involved. Yeah, let me see what else we got here. So we got a couple favorite moments. What was it that initially, maybe you spoke to this, did you guys just sign up to volunteer initially?
Yeah, I think my husband wasn't really into the running yet. And we just saw it, and I think we had some friends that were going to run it and just happened to see something about sign up to volunteer. And I wanted to get a volunteer experience in, and I figured why not be at a race where, you know, you need people everywhere. There's so much to it. And like I said, the first 2 years we did together. And then after that, my husband's like, have fun. And he started, then that's when 2011 is when he got into running.
Okay.
And so he's like, I was like, then at least I can see you at the finish line. And I kind of have an idea of the, you know, range of when he wants to be finishing. So I make sure that I'm the one that gives him the medal.
Nice.
Get a picture of him with the clock and as he's crossing the finish line.
So how many times has he run?
He's done the Ogden Marathon, I think 4 times.
Okay. Nice.
But he kind of spaced it out.
Yeah.
Just this year he was qualifying for Boston, so
nice. That's awesome.
He actually trained for this year.
Yeah, and did he get the Boston qualifier?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. And is he going to run in?
If his brothers can qualify.
Okay. Yeah. There's a little asterisk there. So nice. Yeah. That's cool. Keep me in the loop. I might go run Boston too. I've never run it before, but I got my qualifier.
Yeah, he got it.
Too.
And then COVID shut it down. So
Yeah. Okay.
So we want to try it again.
Yeah. Nice. Definitely. And you have never had the opportunity to run.
I got an entry into the winter race series, half, and that's the most I've done.
Nice.
For this race specifically.
Well, keep the miles up if you ever get down the line to retiring.
I'm like, I just don't know. Happen. Like, I don't see myself ever giving up because I have it worked out. It's like to a T, and just like I don't know if I can give that up.
We'd have to split the duties, right? We'd have to have like have your husband step back in as the beginning lead, and then you run the half. Yeah. And then when you finish, you get a little Gatorade and then turn around and get it done or something. You know? Yeah. We'd be willing to make that happen if you wanted to, but we love having you around the event. Is there anything else that you want to say to the community regarding why you do this? I
mean, I love, like I said, just seeing everybody and talking to people, even the fans on the side. Like, we need people on the side volunteer or cheering everybody on. And whether you necessarily know anyone that's running or you just know a neighbor's running or whatever, the more people we get down there, the more fun it is.
Yeah.
Cheering them on, getting those cowbells, get the kids out, watching them do the Kid K, and just the more people we have on the stands, the grandstands or along the fence line, just cheering everybody on, it helps.
Yeah. I don't think people that haven't been to like a big running race, they don't know that energy till they see it for the first time. I got one little cool story that's removed from the finish line, but I brought on a couple of just like temp staff workers to actually manage out on 18th Street to manage some of the traffic there and stuff. And our 5K comes through one way and then it comes back, but all the races come back the other way. And so they were there managing that. But the guys that showed up had clearly never been to a running race before. And I go to touch base with these folks just to kind of get them dialed in and stuff. But I was standing there as 5K runners were coming through, and it was the back end of the 5K, and they were some of the older folks that were out there, and there was this one lady with like a kind of walking assisted device. I can't remember if it was a cane or if it was a walker, and this older guy who was just like, I think mainly what he does is work like road traffic stuff, so like highway stuff when they're fixing the highway and stuff. It's not like anything like as exciting as what's going on here, you know, and he's this rough and tumble, like weathered skin guy, but his eyes are like, I can tell, like he's like, man, I never seen anything like this before. And he's keeping his eyes open because like you could tell if he blinks that like tears are going to start coming down, you know? And it was one of those moments that you could just see that these things affect people in an emotional way, you know? And I'm sure you have kind of hundreds or if not thousands of anecdotes of that, but it is really cool how impactful it is. So I hope people take your advice and just come out and check it out. And I guess in addition to that, I'd be remiss if I'd say that the festival portion of it near the finish line is free and open to the public. And we see about 15,000 people out there, and not all related to the runners. So I hope they come out and they'll see you out with the medals.
Also, I know not just race day, but the expo the night before is also fun to walk around and just see what's up there. And maybe if you're just getting started into running, if you want to get, youth program going, and there's a lot of things that you can see walking around the booth up at the expo. Yeah,
or just come down and see why we shut down some city streets for a few hours, as impactful it is as it is, and hopefully you won't be as upset about that.
Yeah.
But I get it. I've run into races too that I'm not running, and I've been like, what the heck?
Yeah.
So
well, that's what a couple of years in a row I would be like the neighborhood carpool, that I would drop them all off for the bus, and then I'm like, well, I'm already dropping them off at the bus. I might as well just stay and help out with busing too, you know? So yeah, that's awesome. Well, we appreciate it. And your tenure is incredible from 2009. The marathon's going to hit its 25th year in 2026. So I'm sure you're still going to be around for that. We're looking forward to it. And I hope you guys got a good idea of what Michelle Bugnet is all about. And you're a just great model of what our community is. So appreciate you making the time coming in. Thank you.
Awesome.